ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Competitive Speed Series. It's yet another round of racing.
What's going to happen in turn 1?
4, 5 red lights here in Shanghai.
They will need an even bigger miracle.
This is completely flipped on its head.
Now the gloves have come off.
You will not believe your eyes.
Oh, into the wall! For the first time, EVE have won a race.
They have beaten the unbeatable team title for TF10. They are back on top.
Hello, good evening, and a warm welcome to you. Welcome back to CSS, aka Competitive Speed Series. I'm back in business as well. After last week's illness, I am here once more. We have arrived this time at a very special round indeed. As you can see right here, it is round 5 of the season. We're nearly at the halfway point, and it is going to be a special one. This is Monaco, and my name is Frostbreath, aka Rob, your commentator once again for tonight. The time has come then for this very interesting track, and I've already said in the Discord with the other teams that I'm curious to see this race, and I should apparently also be curious to the post-race penalties. Of course, with this year's mandatory 2-stop also being applied in the game as well. It does mean opening up some very interesting potential tire strategies. Will they pit early? Will they pit at the last possible moment like Mercedes did in real life? We'll find out later down the line. But first, let's have a little look at the standings. Oh, this is actually old standings. I completely forgot to update it. My bad. Let me quickly find the actual proper standings as they should be. My apologies about this one. Quite a big mess up from my side. But it should be done very soon. Just a few seconds. There we go. There it is. This is the new standings. As you can see right now, it's no longer VNT, aka Ventari Esports, at the top of the table. It's now FRT after their 1-2 last week in Miami, which fortunately was, after all, streamed by one of the team's drivers from a spectator's point of view, which is very nice of them indeed. So a big thank you to ONB for providing a stream, even though it was without commentary. At least you guys were able to witness a 1-2 by FRT, and therefore them claiming now the top spot of this season so far. 7 points only separate them though, and tonight, if anything, qualifying is the most important thing of the lot. Then of course it's the pit stop strategies, and third most important thing is probably the incident reports post-race. So we'll see what comes from that. Last week we had Miami, Tater. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Miami last week. This week the time has come for Monaco. A bit further down the order. Still close as well. TRT sitting in third at the moment. Only 8 points ahead of ET8. And below them you can see TF10 slowly coming back a little bit. They're now back up to P5, 7 points behind P4, and not too far behind P3 either. They're of course still the reigning champions, meaning that they still have a lot to prove. Tonight they've actually brought Abdullah Boulaish and Ave Gobadi, I believe it was pronounced. Let me actually have a quick look. Yeah, Ave Gobadi for the Mercedes cars. I'll introduce the rest to you momentarily, but I can tell you that missing from tonight's race is an entire team. Apparently AMR were unable to provide any drivers. Nobody was online, which is a shame. It is indeed Monaco tonight. As you can see on the bottom right of the standings. Next race, Monaco. And next week, we'll actually go back to the USA, into Las Vegas. Followed by a break week, and then 6 more rounds to come until the end of the season at the start of October. Still a long way away, but before you know, that moment has come at last. And then we'll know we can crown the Season 6 champion for Competitive Speed Series. We're headed towards the qualifying at the moment. Once again, of course, 18 minutes, followed by 39 laps. The most laps out of all tracks, of course. It being the shortest, it makes perfect sense to have this many laps. And anything can still happen. Even though the top 2 teams are far ahead of the rest, I'd say there's still a chance for those further down the order to do something special. And this is interesting. It is Monaco at night. Who doesn't like a good old nighttime Monaco? Should be absolutely brilliant. Let's hope my PC survives the graphical fidelity that comes with a night race, but should be fine. I've turned path racing up. Apparently, having path racing on causes my PC to lag the stream badly. Fortunately, though, it looks like it is quite alright. For now, at least. So let's see what the drivers are going to do. Several of them heading out the pit lane right now. One of the Saubers first in line to head out on track. That is over there, you can see. Quite eager to get going. Alex Osinas, I hope I pronounced it correctly. First out on track for Onibi, of course. They had a brilliant debut with a podium straight away. Currently sit somewhere at P8 around the standings. So not too bad at all. And let's see if they can produce something magical again tonight. Both TF10 cars have exited the pit lane, as well as both FRTs. The new championship leaders have brought tonight Minjake and Takubi to their lobby, to their race. Let's see what they can bring to the team. Simon Engel and Neil Guillot are out for VNT. We have already known Simon Engel for quite a while here in CSS. He was quite dominant in the first race together with his teammate in Abu Dhabi. That definitely set them on the map as championship contenders. And they still are, of course, but now they're no longer the hunted. They have become the hunters. Watching here, Mario Amoroso, OMB's second driver. Short quali, by the way. Short qualification of only 18 minutes. But let's swap our attention to the first man who'll try and set a hot lap as he slides through a center foot. Apparently that's quite heroic, I'd say. Followed not too far behind by Abdullah Boulaish, one of the two reigning champions in the lobby tonight. But it's this man, Alex Osinas, will be setting the first lap time of the night. 18.233 to Sector 1 as they head to the Grand Hotel Hairpin. Right here, turn number 6. Looking quite steady indeed. Qualifying being absolutely crucial here around Monaco. As close to the wall as you possibly can. Take as much space that is available. Because space here in qualifying is limited in Monaco. As well as racing space. That's even more limited, you have to say. And that means we'll certainly see some dramatic incidents happening through the race, I'm sure. Because drivers really like to get past when they feel like they're faster. And patience in this year's game is thin. Alex Osinas then. Ooh, a bit of a bump there at the inside wall. That's going to cost him quite a lot of time. But he'll be the first across the line either way. It's a 1 minute 9.3. A decent opening. But let's watch Abdullah Boulaish as he crosses the line. A 9.6. That's actually slower there. As the Takubi goes quite a lot faster than the both of them. 8.9 so far. As more and more lap times slowly start to trickle in. We're watching Simon Engel at the moment. His teammate has just started his hot lap as well. Many others are currently going through the last sector for their hot lap. Some guys are going slow. We see an RB going quite slow, having abandoned their hot lap. That is Joel Lindström. Thankfully for him, no traffic in the way. It's quite difficult here to move out of the way from traffic, I'd say. As Joel Lindström decides to go again. Of course, tire wear isn't that high on this track, so we should be perfectly fine on that set to do one more. Simon Engel then, through the second sector, purple there already. I wouldn't be surprised if that was true. Minjake has slotted third position for the moment. OMB second and fifth. Adam Ilyes in P6 and Iago Koira in P7 at the moment. But Simon Engel is going to cross the line now. What's it going to be? And there we go. An 8.7, that is well over 2/10 quicker than Takubi. And on a track like this, that is quite the big margin, I have to say. So a strong start then out of the blocks for VNT. Neil Guillot next to cross the line here for VNT as well. And that's, whoa, a whole lot quicker. My goodness me, that he just took 0.6 of a second off the lap time of Simon Engel. And now he's the new provisional pole sitter. But Simon probably doesn't care too much. At least they're now 1-2. And that is perfect on a track like this. They can control the entire field pace-wise and everything else as well. But yeah, Neil and Simon are brilliantly at 1 and 2 at the moment. Joel Lindström to cross the line right there. Only a 1 minute 10.1. P8. That is 2 seconds away from pole position. Adam and Jago as well are well over 2 seconds slower at the moment. They'll have to find a lot of time, otherwise they'll be in trouble. Several drivers having not set a lap time yet. Adam Schummer not setting a qualifying time tonight. I couldn't find whether he had a qualifying ban or not. Don't think he... I think he has. I think TRT might have. Let's have a little look. No, can't see anything. Not entirely sure why Adam has retired. Might have crashed somewhere that I missed it. But TRT certainly does not have a qualifying ban. Watching Redmerds at the moment in the McLaren for IRT. Adam that just crashed. Oh, I completely missed that one. Fascinating. But not fascinating for him at all. And yes, Danico is driving indeed. Unfortunately, he's forgotten his team tag. That's going to hurt the team for sure. Danico out tonight for ET8. His teammate sitting in P9 at the moment. And speaking of Danny, he's further ahead than Redmerds. So we're watching him for a little bit. They're going through the Nouvelle chicane. Then Tobacco. Ooh, a bump with the wall right there. 50.9. Is he going to finish this lap? Danny's tag is there. They're just not on your side again. Alright, perfectly fine then. But I've known Danico long enough to know that he's in ET8. So no problem. I will not get confused there. Danico across the line. 8.7. Look at that. As well as Jeremy, by the way. Jam. 97. P4 for F1AF. Strong performance for him there as well. Oof, another bump there in the wall. This time for Ave Gabadi. Wow, drifting a whole lot there. The TF10 car is, but it's an 8.6. And that slots him into second place and splits the VNT cars. Is this potentially the return for TF10? Abdullah Balaish, of course, is going to have to do a whole lot more than that. He's going extremely slow, even though nobody behind him is on a hot lap. But he doesn't know that. I believe was Redmerds. No, it was actually Jago Koira, who was on an outlap himself too. I'll keep a closer eye on the minimap as well to make sure we catch somebody crashing. For example, we see yellow flag in Sector 1, but that was for Adam Ilyes. Going slow there to let somebody pass. That was one of the Red Bulls. In fact, it was Takubi, who's already invalidated. His teammate on his way as well, Min Jake, also invalidated. Not going that well then for FRT, only P6 and P10. They would probably like a bit better than that, I'm sure. Mario Amoroso starting his hot lap right now. Abdullah Bulaish is about to finish his... No, never mind. That's actually his teammate who's entering the pit lane right there. This is Abdullah right here. He's gone through Portier. He's well behind his teammate, about a second slower at the moment. But I feel like Abdullah can do better than that. In fact, I'm sure of it. So he's going to get a chance right here. Alex Asinas improves to P10, I believe. Half a second quicker now, Abdullah is, but more time needs to be found. And with only the final sector remaining, I'm not sure if he's going to find an extra half a second to get at least close to his teammate. But he will certainly jump up in the positions right now with an 8.8. There we go, P5. A lot better there. 7/10 quicker in the end, almost. And he's looking a bit stronger now. TF10, P2, P5. It's looking quite nice for them now. Mario Amoroso for OMB next across the line. Improves to a 9.1. P9 for the moment. His teammate following suit. Behind him, the only TRT car remaining, Gianluca Nolfo, unfortunately invalidated. And that means this is indeed over. Sits in P11 for the time being. The VNT cars are back on their way as well. As we see Joel Lindström about to finish his hot lap. Yellow flag in the tunnel for a driver going slower to let somebody past. And now Joel Lindström will cross the line next. Can he get closer to Danico? He can get closer indeed. 9.0. A second quicker than his previous attempt. And now sits in his 8th position. can see there one of the Red Bull drivers crossing the line. That is Takubi. Is he going to try again now? Yes, he is. Takubi on his way. Same goes for our pole sitter, Neil Guillot. Or Neil. No, let's just go with Neil. Neil Guillot. And yes, AMR didn't show. Oof, quite a nice corner cut there. You kind of cut quite a lot of the corner. But I feel like a millimeter more to the right for him. And that would have been an invalidation. A 10th quicker. Can he go ahead and break the magical 1:07 barrier then? That would be a strong showing. But this is a trouble. This is trouble. There's a car in the way right there. That's a Haas. That might be Ilias on a hot lap. On an out lap, sorry. But it's still good enough for Neil. Neil Guillot back on provisional pole. Very impressive. 7.9. And who's going to beat him to that lap time? Takubi, perhaps. Well, oh, drifting there. Never mind. Abandoned his hot lap. Was about a 10th up in the middle sector. Not satisfied, though. That wouldn't have been good enough. Would have perhaps given him one position if it stayed like that. Big Shoots heading back in the pit lane for F1 AF. Not to mention the fact that Jerem 97 is incredibly fast tonight. For the moment he was P2, but then there was Simon Engel back on second place there. And the front row lockout once again belonging. Never mind, because there's AF Gabari. Splitting them once again. A TF10 car splitting the VNT cars. VNT probably not that happy with that. TF10 though, very much to be delighted with this performance. It's this man who's saving the day for them. The reigning champions are struggling this season. And now they've brought some proper firepower with this man. Abdullah Boulaj not too far behind either. Now, let's see. Anybody else on their way at the moment? No, definitely not this man. Looks like most drivers are currently on their in-lap, except maybe for Danico. He's actually about to start another attempt, I think. His rear wing is open. Battery out is not flashing. That means a bit of a scrape there with the wall. Always, drivers are going to be on the limit right here. At the same time, trying to keep their car in one piece. Adam Schumer has already experienced what happens if you get too comfortable with the walls. That means qualifying is over, and now he'll be starting all the way from the back, and that's a nightmare on a track like this. And Gianluca Nolfo for TRT. Goodness me, another driver splitting the VNT cars, and he is now on the front row. Some good news there for TRT. They needed that with Adam Schumer out. Gianluca Nolfo saves the day. Strong performance. Back to Danico though, invalidated unfortunately. That's his attempt over. But he will still be back in time to do another one. He's already at the pit lane entry. If he comes in now, he can swap his tires for a fresh set and try for one final attempt. And sooner or later, everybody else will be doing the same thing. And Neil Guillot has decided to jump ahead and do a hot lap now. Because he probably realizes that sooner or later the track will be completely full of cars. And then it's going to be a fight for a position. And then potentially you'll be too late to the line. Not something you want at a track like this. Redmers for IRT. IRT struggling tonight. 14th and 16th only. Our championship leaders also struggling. Takubi and Minjake are nowhere to be found near the top. Their best position belonging to Takubi in P8 and then Minjake only P15. That is painful. Very painful for somebody, for a team that is trying for the championship. VNT are therefore quite comfortable at the moment. Their nearest rivals far away. And the next team in the standings is well over 100 points clear. And even though that can technically be reduced to pretty much 0 in 2 races if they score nothing 2 races in a row. It's still looking quite decent for them. It is very unlikely, I think, that VNT are going to be pointless for 2 races. While the IET car is getting past Iago Coira. wants to be ahead. Less than 3 minutes remaining now. Both VNT cars are on their way. Neil Guillot is currently trying already. Quite early, to be fair. There's still a lot of time, but I feel like if he messes up, he's got another attempt. So, smart decision, I'd say. And now it's starting to get busy. Look on the minimap. A lot of drivers coming out on track now. Oh, that is painful for Neil. And now he's got to join the queue of cars trying to get ready for their hot laps. Does he have enough time to recharge the battery? That's the question. So we're now watching his teammate, Simon Engel. I wonder if he's doing a hot lap at the moment. No, he isn't. And wisely so. Otherwise, a lot of drivers would have been in the way, even when they move out of the way. It's very distracting on a track narrow like this. So the big question is, who is actually on a hot lap? Is Takubi then pushing? Yes, he is. What's he going to find in the first sector? About half a tenth. Nowhere near good enough for pole position. Pole position at the moment is about a second away from him. FRT definitely on the back foot after their brilliant 1-2 last week in Miami. Now they find themselves down the table. And what can F1AF do with Jerem 97? He's looking fast. Same goes for Gianluca Nolfo, of course. Ave Gabadi as well. Could be a surprise pole position. Ooh, banging with the water once again for Takubi. 1.5 tenths now through the middle sector quicker. Pushed down to P10 now by Alex Osinas, who is joined into 9th place. But that is unfortunate. Takubi is done. That's his qualifying over. Big shame there. Jerem 97, his teammate, is ahead, about to finish his hot lap. What's Big Shoot's going to do across the line? Doesn't improve. Neil Guillot is gonna try again, I'd say. Yeah, he's got some time remaining. And maybe even Takubi has decided to try again. Ave Gabadi as well. But now, Jerem 97, I think. Oh, he's also going to try now. Several drivers have done a double outlap. Waited for the last possible opportunity to get going. But Gianluca Nolfo, though, he's decided to go for it straight away. And it proves his lap time. He will not get pole position. But Ave and Simon have got their work cut out for them. They will have to push. So let's see if they can do that. Now we're going to have to watch which driver is going to finish first. Simon Engel. What's he going to do then? Across the line. P3 for VNT there at least. But there's many a driver still on their way. Adam Ilyes, P16. That's the improvement he's going to find. Big shoots for F1AF. 2 tenths quicker through the middle sector. Across the line. All the way out to P7. Right behind his teammates. Strong performance there by them. Neil remains in first place. Doesn't improve. So the only man potentially beating him then is this man. Can he do it? He can't. Stays in fourth. Not good enough there, I'm afraid. Then the other TF10 man, perhaps. Abdullah Boulaish. 2 tenths slower in the middle sector. It's not going to happen for him then. But maybe he can find something magical in the final sector. It's not impossible. We've seen it happen before. Mario Amoroso just ahead. Oh my goodness, nearly loses the car. Mario doesn't improve. Neither does Abdullah. Loses a whole lot of more time in the final sector. And that means, I'd say, qualifying is pretty much over. Min-Jae coming in, and FRT will be scratching themselves behind their ears, because this is a nightmare qualification for them on a track where qualifying is the most important thing. They find themselves in P11 and P12. And VNT are on prime seats pretty much. TRT are no threat, nor is TF10. But it will still try and control the race. And that 1 and 2 would be ideal for them. That would mean that would create a huge gap potentially to FRT if it stays like this. And now you're watching the biggest, best camera point of view. And there we are then. Confirmation of Neil Guillot on a very, very dominant pole position. Well over 3/10 clear from the next car. Gianluca Nolfo, second place. Simon Engel in third. Ave Gabari, P4. Jam97, P5. Danny Cohn, sixth. Big Shoots, P7. Abdullah Boulaj, P8. Ilias for EVR in P9. And Alex Osinas in P10. The rest of the field looking like this, with, of course, Adam Schumer starting from last due to having crashed in qualifications. Now then, some surprises, I'd say, for sure, especially with FRT's poor performance in qualifying. VNT looking very strong. Tier T potentially going to try and fight with Gianluca Nolfo for victory. Of course, the tire strategy is going to be crucial tonight, I'm sure. I'm really, really looking forward to see what will happen there. We also do not know yet what the weather is going to be like. Since it's nighttime, I cannot see any clouds. So that is going to be anybody's guess as well. One of the AMR guys has just announced that they are here now. But they're too late, unfortunately. Just barely too late. That means AMR is completely done for. That's a shame. You can no longer pick a car. So AMR is definitely not going to race tonight. 0 points for the Williams team. Anyway, strategy talk. I'm going to be honest, I've got no clue what's going to happen with that. Feel like drivers are going to just watch one another and see when they pit. Maybe some drivers are going to do 2 stops in the first 2 laps and then carry the hards until the end. It is indeed a mandatory 2-stop. So all options are open for everybody. Should be a good one, I'm sure. Let me quickly bring up some extra stream information for myself. There we go. Righto, about to get going. We recoded the game to remove the 2-stop mandatory rule. That's not happening, I'm afraid. Indeed, nighttime, yes, Jaden. Who doesn't like a fancy Monaco look? All in the dark. Quite happy they added this. It looks very, very aesthetic. Looks like drivers are currently considering a whole lot of things. It's taking a little bit of time for them to get going. And I'm not surprised. It should be a tough one. This one. Usually a 2-stopper is has become not too uncommon in this game. Austria, for example, works better with a 2-stop for most drivers. But we'll find out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And then round 5 in Monaco is officially underway now with Neil Guillot from pole position. And let's see who's going to get off the line best. It looks like an easy holder position for the race leader. And there is Ave Gabari. Whoa, and already somebody in the wall right there. One of the F1AF drivers, that's Jeren97. From P6 already down to P9, losing several positions, being ghosted at the moment due to the collision with the wall. The front wing, though, looks like quite well in one piece. This is the moment where most overtakes could be made, but it is still difficult because this, after all, is Monaco. There's Ilias on Takubi for P9, but Takubi, with his ghosting, is taking advantage of it. I'm not sure if it's allowed, but he's back up to 9th place. 1 position gain then for FRT. They're desperate to gain as many positions as possible. Now, these 2 drivers are literally driving inside one another. Who's gonna come off best? Who's gonna break the latest in the next corner right here? And it looks like, for now, Ilias wins out again. And Takubi is back down to 10th position. We see there a car cutting the corner. That's Joel Lindström. Very slow, but still getting a penalty nonetheless. Oh, and he's out straight away. What's happened there then? Joel Lindström into the wall he goes. No safety car as of yet. And Neil Guillot has already cleared the rest of the field by 1.6 seconds. Absolutely mental, this man, from the start of the race. He's going very fast. He was fast in qualifying, and he's incredibly fast in the race. There should be no problem for him to win, it looks like, for now. But still, though, mistakes are made easily. He's got to have to keep up concentration for 38 remaining laps. And that means it's still a long, long way to go. We're only on the second lap, and already Simon Engel is pushing Gianluca Nolfo as they are a little bit of an issue there. Ghosts here and there. Oh, that's a virtual safety car because of something happening in the background. That's Ilias out of the race. Several collisions there for some reason, and a virtual safety car might allow these drivers to go for their first round of stops. I saw there is Sauber with a big part of the front wing missing. I'm afraid that's Mario Amoros. Oh, it's actually this man, Alex Osines. Look at that. The left side, the front wing is completely gone. That's a shame. It's actually the full front wing missing at the moment. Drive-through penalty for Min Jake. It's absolute disaster then for FRT now, as we're getting back to green flag racing. Gianluca Nolfo turns out to be a little bit asleep, and this is an opportunity there for Simon Engel to get going. Incredibly close, headed towards turn 1. What's the heroic going to be? He's finding no way past, because Gianluca Nolfo just parks his Alpine in the middle of the track. Perfect defending from him right there, and Simon Engel still behind for the time being. He's got to find another corner to get through. Perhaps then turn 5 at Mirabeau is the opportunity, but now he's already too far away, and that's his opportunity gone. You can see 3 drivers having come in. One of them at least is having to replace the front wing, and speaking of which, it's Simon Engel pushing against Gianluca Nolfo, and now he's also damaged the front wing. Disaster now from VNTs. He tries to go around the outside, and they go into the wall, and there is Ave Gobadi getting past straight away, benefiting from the fighting between the 2 drivers. And Gianluca Nolfo's internet connection is destroying some people's races. And there goes Simon Engel's front wing properly. A nightmare for VNT. The last thing they could use right there. As Neil Guillot is far away from the rest. Drama behind him all over the place. Abdullah Boulaj, he's somewhere over here. And Gianluca Nolfo is losing positions fast. Without a front wing, he's got nowhere to go. What a shame. The man starting in second, I think, is suffering from some connection issues, and for some reason he carries on. Oh, actually, apparently he's in the pit lane. I was a little bit surprised there. Was he going so slow? But that explains why. Now Simon Engel is in trouble. He's got a damaged front wing. Darian in the chat saying, what am I watching? Yeah, I wonder as well. I was afraid this would happen. This is Monaco. And we're watching 18 drivers, none of them being the most patient persons, wanting to get past ASAP. And of course, Gianluca suffering from a bad internet connection, and that has cost Simon Engel his race, that's for sure. Visual glitch. More things going on. Simon now having to defend against his podium position. He's still in third, thanks to Gianluca's downfall. But for how long? When is Danny Coe just going to throw that RB in a corner on the inside? And will Simon Engel be ready? But Danny probably needs the perfect place. Yeah, there he goes. No surprises. VNT's Simon Engel coming in for his first of 2 mandatory pit stops. Danny Coe now up to the podium. Several teams having different ideas on which pit stop strategy works. Feel like this man, for example, Adam Ilias, I think he had no damaged front wing. Let's just decide to go for an early stop. It may or may not work. And now he's stuck behind Gianluca Nolfo. In fact, Gianluca is going a whole lot slower at the moment, and there's still issues for him as Adam just mounts the curb and Gianluca gets overtaken through himself. Meaning that his internet woes. So, oh my goodness! Outbreaks himself completely! Adam Ilias in turn 1 destroys his own car, and a double retirement for EVR. What a nightmare for them! There's only few teams remaining without nightmare scenarios. And I think the only team that find themselves with all the luck in the world is IRT. They started pretty much from the back, the both of them. And look at that. Redmers and Yaga Koira, 7th and 9th now. And Aiden, you're absolutely right. A safety car is insanely rare in Monaco. It just rarely comes out, and I've got no idea why. I'm afraid we're not going to see safety cars even if 3 cars crash. I feel like this track might be the only track that you might want to increase safety car to at least standard. Very strange. Abdullah Boulaj in the meanwhile, stuck in an F1AF sandwich, harassing big shots all over the place. Look at that, he's clearly faster, but there's no way past. There's simply no room to overtake. In the corners where he can overtake, he's simply too far away. So, 3 drivers out. Both EVR drivers and Joel Lindström out of the race. Several drivers already had to replace their front wings. They're all at the back at the moment. And IRT benefiting big time. Redmer is now having pitted as well for the first of 2. Being of the opinion that that was the right time to pit. Now he's stuck behind 2 drivers though. He'll not be too happy about that one. We see there Jerem 97 for his first of 2 pit stops, swapping from the mediums to the hards. So that at least he's used 2 different compounds. And now he's gonna have to drive again. And he might have some clear space, or has he? Because there's Simon Engel, who's pitted 2 laps ago, just around him, and Jerem nearly took him from there. Looks like Jerem's overcut has worked, nearly worked actually. Because they weren't this close together at the start of the race, that's for sure. Of course, Simon, having suffered from a damaged front wing, has replaced his. That's also, of course, why they are now this close together. The race now has been spread out over pretty much all the track. Abdullah, in the meanwhile, has gotten past Big Schutz. He's managed to make the move. He's staying out. Big Schutz coming in after his teammate. And the question is he going to be ahead still or behind his teammate? Jam 97 going through turns 15 and 16, the swimming pool corners. As Big Schutz swaps to the hard tires as well. Same goes for Jago Koira. Also having made his first pit stop, IRT, going for lap 8 and lap 6 pit stops right there. And Jean 97 has overtaken his teammate. He's now a second, just under a second clear now. Strategic battles going on all over the place. And now F1AF have got a question to answer to themselves. Who are they going to want to have in front? Jerem was clearly quicker in qualifying, but Big Schutz was ahead in the race. Look at this. Looks like Big Schutz potentially is faster now. And Simon Engel is still being harassed by the both of them. They can now work together to try and overtake Simon. Neil is coming in for his pit stop. The race leader in for first of 2. On lap 8. There's some glitch there. Don't worry, he's not still there. He's actually already here. And Eve Gobadi, now your new race leader. Danny Coe has decided to carry on as well. Abdullah Boulaj, same thing. This could be interesting. Abdullah could play a crucial factor here for Ave. You could try and allow Neil to catch up to him. And then Neil Guillot will be stuck. At least for a while. And that could mean Abdullah might want to sacrifice his own race to give Ave Gobadi the win. And give TF10 their first win of the season, which they desperately need. They are still the reigning champions. But they've fallen behind fast in the standings. Gianluca Nolfo still struggling. Now finds himself on the back of Big Schutz. Big Schutz having been unable to keep up with his teammate. He's now a second clear from Jerem. Jerem still harassing Simon Engel. But no way past just yet. And the question is, what is Ave going to do? He stays out. Danny Coe. Same thing, never mind. He comes in. What does Abdullah do? He stays out. Would it then be the perfect teamwork from TF10? We've seen them do it so many times. TF10 being the ultimate team to work together. And now they can do it once again. All Abdullah now needs to do, as we got a yellow flag, for one of the FRT cars is out. Min Jake out of the race as well. Oh dear, through the Nouvelle chicane, crashed. FRT's days have just gotten a whole lot worse. Takubi is still out there, but he's pitted quite early. Oh dear. And this is the scenario I was talking about. Look how slow Abdullah's going through the chicanes and through the hairpins. This is what I mean. He's not going to allow Simon to pass, and Simon knows it. Oh, sorry, Neil knows it. This is not Simon, this is Neil Guillot. He's going to try with a dive in the chicane, and Abdullah's having absolutely none of it. I'm sure the FIA might want to have a look at it, but Abdullah doesn't care. He slowed down Neil big time, but he can't no longer. Neil was decisive. His pace was that much quicker. And it's probably not enough to withhold Neil from the race lead once Ave has pitted. Abdullah carries on. I think he should have just come in by now. He cannot do anything now. He's on the podium, yes. And I feel like staying out to wait for a safety car is not going to be effective on a track like this, because this is Monaco and safety cars are pretty much non-existent, even if they are enabled. There's Simon Engel. Danny Coe as slides through the field, finds himself in P6. There's the freshest tires of the lot. And look at the difference already. Danny Coe is going to go for a move. And Simon saw it coming. Closed the door. Good defending there. Danny is desperate to find a way through. He smells a podium tonight for ET8. They need that in the fight for third place. They're only 8 points behind third at the moment in the standings. Is Danny going to try the same thing as Neil did? Nearly. But the pace difference is quite visible. Simon is struggling. Despite having a new front wing, he can't get away from the F1AF guys. And now Denico is there. After a pit stop. To try and get past for real. Sharam wasn't able to. I feel like Danny might be. He just needs the perfect opportunity. But he needs to be sure to keep a look in his rear view mirrors as well. Not sure why it's showed Redmer's overtaking Gianluca Norfolk. Gianluca's all the way up here. But it looks like internet issues are a serious thing for him now. Denico with the same situation again. Wanted to go to the inside, but no chance. Where is he gonna go for it? That's the question. There's simply no way past. He's got an opportunity in turn 10. With an almighty dive. Is he gonna try it? He is not. Where Neil easily did it. Because of his massive pace advantage. Danny's pace advantage isn't big enough. Yeah, Gianluca is indeed lagging a whole lot. It's why he's sometimes in a different position on the standings, which makes me confused. Oh, dearie me. Yellow flag, a bit further back between Mario Amoroso and Iago Coira. They were close together, that's for sure. No longer though. Adam Schur has dropped back as well. I believe he's missing part of his front wing. Yep, that's what the yellow flag was for. Adam was on a roll, starting from last. And now he's gonna need a new front wing again. Not the race he was after. Interestingly, as you can see, TF10 have decided to go long. Neither of them have pitted yet. Almost everybody else has. In fact, everybody else has pitted. Takubi, of course, being forced to pit early due to damage. And same goes for Alex Asinas, who's only in 13th at the moment. But the good thing is, all these drivers will score points. So retiring in the pit lane, I'd say, is not an option. If every point counts, even Adam Schumer should finish the race. The Simon Engel train. Yes, here it is. Have a good look. It's a beautiful red, white, double green. And soon some extra blue as well. If Gianluca is where he's supposed to be. On the track. Still anybody's guess. He could be about a second clear. He could also be 5 seconds behind. Due to his internet issues. You'll probably get a warning for that. At the very least. Just don't crash anymore. Exactly. It's become quite common in these days to just retire if you feel like the race is not going anywhere. But since the top 15 scores points in CSS, it is still worth carrying on. Simon Engel going defensive once again against Denico. And Denico's tires are now getting older and older. Look at that. Through the hairpin. Nearly tried to find a way around the outside. Probably wouldn't have worked. Probably would have led to more drama. I feel already like quite a lot of drives could be under investigation. And like Ryan Mottler said in the Discord, the reports after the race are just going to be as interesting as the race itself. Looks like he was quite right. At least one of the drives was involved in an incident. While Neil tried to get past Abdullah, Abdullah's defense was feisty to say the least. And then Neil, now having made one pit stop, is already back up to the race leader pretty much. 2.5 seconds away only. And Ave still having not pitted. I wonder what he is going to do then. Maybe Neil will come in again for a second pit stop and then carry on till the end. It really depends though on what tire options these drivers have chosen. Now then, for Simon Engel, potentially coming up is the Kubi, which might be either a saving grace or the biggest nightmare he's ever encountered. Because the Kubi, of course, his tires are now pretty much shot. Even though they are hards and 12 laps old on Monaco. You saw the tire pace difference at least is vast. And now Simon Engel is going to be stuck behind him. Allowing potentially Denico with another opportunity to overtake. If Simon Engel doesn't get far past quick, he might be in trouble. Ooh, we saw there definitely some stuff flying off a car. Probably from Takubi's Red Bull. Not from the front wing though, not visually. As you can already see there, Simon Engel in trouble from Denico's pressure. And Takubi's car ahead. He's stuck. Speaking of being stuck, the other VNT car is also stuck again against another TF10 driver. The man who was hoping that Abdullah would have held him back for another few laps, then Ave would have probably pitted already. And now they're just going to try and last as long as possible. I doubt they're going to try and wait for a safety car, because again, safety cars on Monaco just do not exist. And now Neil must find a way past. Let's see how long it will take him. This is his first opportunity. Just a bit too far back. Oh, a crash there. Gianluca Nolfo. No, never mind. Adam Schumer. Adam Schumer is out of the race. And again, as you can see, no safety car. It's as simple as that. It just doesn't exist in Monaco. Maybe if you set it up to increased, it might work. And maybe we should do that for the next time Monaco comes up, because otherwise the race is going to stay like this forever. And Neil, look at that. He's getting feisty. He's once again on the offensive. Once again against the Mercedes. A different driver though. What's Neil going to do? He had a look at the inside, just a bit too far back. Had he been closer, he certainly could have tried. On grip alone, he would have won it. But not yet. Ave's tires now 16 laps old against Neil's, which are just half as old at 8 laps. So Neil is definitely pushing to get past. No safety car is good in Monaco. It would be so boring otherwise. Perhaps. But at least it would have brought the field back together. Potentially more drama, I'd say. It's unreduced, yeah. And that's a problem in Monaco, that's for sure. Just helping Neil preserve his tires. That's a fair point. There we go. TF10's first drivers finally pitted for a fresh set of mediums. And look at now how far behind they are. to the rest of the field. At least they'll have the freshest tires. But it's not going to be easy to overtake, that's for sure. There goes Redmers against Gianluca Nolfo. Or may not be there. There we go. He's gone. There he is. Told you he wasn't there. Absolute magic. Very interesting. And I just teleported again on the minimap. Fascinating. Anyway, another battle at the moment. Of course, still between Takubi, Simon and Danny. And there we go. For the moment, I thought the overtake was happening, but it's Ave pitting at long last. He can no longer extend his stint. And this is the time to go for fresh mediums. He'll still comfortably in second place, as you can see. Takubi is only here. He's held up the rest of the field long enough to allow Ave to have a go at second place without any challenge. And now the big question becomes which strategy will work best. Neil will still have to pit, but Ave will have to pit as well. He's only now pitted once. His tires now, though, an awful lot fresher. Let's see if he can catch Neil quickly. Round 2 of Redmers attempting to overtake Gianluca Nolfo if he's actually there. Just goes through him. And now the countdown begins until Gianluca teleports back to his actual position. There's Abdullah Boulaj. He's probably going to be wildly surprised when... oh, look at that. Yeah, he was probably indeed surprised because he didn't realize that Gianluca is ghosting. His internet is an absolute nightmare tonight. By no fault of his own, of course, but still. I do not even know if he realizes it himself. Takubi is starting to drive away again. Simon's had his go. He's in trouble now, once more. From there he goes. Simon, Danny's attacks. No longer, though. Simon goes for a second pit stop, and that means now the 2 mandatory pit stops are done for Simon Engel. He carries on for the rest of the race. Same goes to Redmers and Gianluca Nolfo. Second pit stops for them too. And suddenly Gianluca is very close to Simon Engel. There goes Mario Amoroso on his second set of tires. So 1 pit stop done. Ooh. He went outside the yellow lines there a little too quick, I think. Not sure how that works in the rules. Now Danico stuck behind another car. This time it's Takubi. The difference though is slightly bigger now. It's RB versus Red Bull. And Danny wants to get past. Unless of course he's doing the same thing as Neil did, sorry. And that's just saving his tires. Simon Engel having no problem getting past Mario Amoroso in the tunnel. Easy does it. And no surprises there as Ave went a little quicker there. Fast lap of the race, only 11 seconds behind Neil now. He's already taken away 6 seconds out of his lead. Jean 97, Takubi, both pitting for their second and final time. And soon they'll actually know their true positions. Simon Engel's already done so, of course. He just barely gets ahead of Takubi there, but that's what he wanted. Takubi is unable to cover that. He's just barely ahead of me. Oh, never mind. He's behind now. And perhaps the next corner he might be ahead again. He's probably behind Gianluca Nolfo. That's not going to be fun for Takubi. Because I think this is the actual Gianluca Nolfo. Let's hope for Takubi's sake he can just goes right through him. Otherwise he's in trouble. Abdullah Boulaj! Whoa! Big shoot saw him coming. Didn't allow him through. The tire difference is vast. Abdullah has to make the move quickly. He doesn't want to be stuck behind his Aston Martin. Thankfully for him, he goes in. What that looks like, though, it has cost him something. It is costing part of his front wing. The front right end plate is missing. And he might be in trouble now. Next up is Danny Coe. He's now finally all on his own. But he's no longer to take the tire advantage to great effect, because around him people are on fresher tires. Not something he would have liked. There goes Big Shoots. Cutting pit exit is allowed. Okay, that's good to know. Simon Engel. Gianluca Nolfo behind. Takubi behind him. Never mind. A bit further ahead now. There he is. Big Shoots now just behind Redmare's. Their tires 2 laps difference. But both F1AF guys are looking pretty quick tonight. Of course, both RT guys having pitted twice now, I think. Let's have a look. Yep. Everybody except the top 4 have stopped twice. And the Simon Engel train is still alive, by the way. With Takubi being frustrated behind a lagging Gianluca Nolfo. Jerem 97 behind. On equally old tires. They pitted at the same lap. Jerem's teammate Big Shoots is now stuck behind a McLaren. Whose tires are 2 laps older. So therefore had the undercut. That is what IRT likes to see. And of course, with these many drivers being out, 5, of course they will be higher up there. But at the start of the race, due to all the incidents, and they were able to avoid them all, they were quite high up there too. So IRT are doing quite well, I'd say. There is Neil for his second pit stop now. Trying to make sure Ave wouldn't catch up. And he's now back in the lead. The question is, how long is he going to stay out this time? Neil's coming out right now. Well ahead of Danny and Abdullah. I want to know why the kick let the Ferrari through. Probably because the kick was having his own race. Here's Takubi. He's got Jerem 97 all over him, and Redmers and Big Shoots are approaching fast as well. Once again, Takubi pressurized from behind. He's not able to keep up with Simon and Gianluca. Gianluca is finding somewhat of a resurge after his disaster in the opening laps. Ooh, Danny Coe, that's not something you want. 3 seconds to his name. And he was having such a good race. These are the penalties that they stand at the moment. Six seconds to Iago and Alex. 3 seconds to Danny and Gianluca. It's not ideal for them. Of course, I know you guys are most interested in the tires. So that's what I'll be showing you. Abdullah is still stuck. And he's still only done 1 stop. He's all over the back of Danny Coe. Will the overtake then come into Mirabeau? He needs to be closer than that. He was close enough on the Beau Rivage, but not here. The hairpin then, perhaps. A bump. Pushing Danny a little bit wide. But it's not helping him yet. Then he's got a tiny bit more downforce. Of course, Abdullah's ring is damaged. That means he cannot get a good exit. But he's slightly faster on the straight lines, especially here now. But it's still not good enough. And Abdullah knows it. You hear his tires screaming as he tries to get onto the power. But this is what it looks like from his point of view. Through the corners, Danny just runs away. And there he goes. He's gonna try the undercut. Unless he replaces the front wing. Which I don't think is going to happen. No, and wisely so. I think the impact was only minor. And now he's done his second and last stop of the race. But he'll be all the way down in P10. But it will be the freshest tires. He still has to get through all of them. That's the big trouble. That is the big, big trouble. Here is his teammates. Ave still having to pit. Nail having pitted twice now. Ave decides to carry on for another lap. Looks like this is Neil's race. Oh yeah, of course Ave's mediums won't make it to the end. In fact, they can't make it until the end because he still has to stop. One stop for both Ave and Danny. And then everybody has done 2 stops. And I think it's going to hurt the most for Danny now. 17 lap old Hart, and Simon is approaching fast. 6 seconds behind. Danny has decided to go for the latest pit stop of them all, together with Ave. A bit further back, it's Big Shoot still out over the back of Redmers. But it's the same story as usual. No way past. But he's trying nonetheless. There is Abdullah on the freshest tires, but with a damaged front wing. And there is A finally for his second and last pit stop. He will lose the lead to Neil. But his tires will be 4 laps fresher. Is that good enough though? That's the question. It's another set of hard tires. All the way until the end. But he's got to make up a mountain of time. The gap we'll soon see is going to be massive. On the pit exit right now. And off he goes back into the track. 12.5 seconds. He needs preferably 2 seconds per lap faster to have a chance at winning the race. But that is going to be nigh on impossible with Neil's pace. And now the only man without 2 pit stops is this man, Danny Coe. Happily carries on. Still in 3rd. Still with Simon approaching fast, and I feel like he's got to pit at the end of this lap. He's got no choice. He'll be falling far behind Abdullah. But he will have the freshest tires, but not by much. Against Abdullah at least. Abdullah Bulais though is catching the rest quite rapidly. He was 6 seconds behind at the start of his stint. It's only 2.8 seconds now. But then of course there comes the problem of the next car, Big Shoot's, also having DRS. And Big Shoot's tire difference against Redmer's is only 2 laps. So you won't see the Aston Martin passing the McLaren anytime soon. And there we are then, Danny Coe. The last remaining driver to pit for the second time. What's he gonna switch to? Another set of hards. All the way until the end. And there we are, behind Abdullah Bulais as predicted. Down into P10 again. And VNT have got a double podium once more. Despite Simon's broken front wing due to the incident with Gianluca, who's right behind him again. It's all good once more for VNT. They've got this race in their hands. Their nearest rivals, FRT, have got 1 car remaining, and he's in P5. Unable to get past Gianluca. In fact, he's falling back bit by bit. He's still having to look in his rear view mirrors. But there are still 10 laps to go after this one, and no mistakes must be made. It's still possible. We've seen 5 drivers make crucial mistakes. All of them are now out. It will indeed be TF10's first podium if it stays like this, yep. And it's quite a contrast to what they were doing last season. Then podiums galore for them against FVR, the title battle was. And they won it. And now they are nowhere near the title fight. They won't be able to claw points from VNT. They won't be able to get any closer. Because they've got 1 car in 2nd, the other in 9th. And VNT are in first and third, but at least they are potentially able to get closer to FRT. If that is any consolation. Here's Abdullah. Now, oh, there's a domino effect. Big Shoots bumping into Red Mertz, and therefore Abdullah bumping into Big Shoots. In the meanwhile, Abe's gap has been reduced by 0.4 of a second. That's nowhere near good enough. Abdullah wants to get past these two ASAP. He wants more points for the team. It's going to be extraordinarily difficult. The tire difference isn't big enough. It's as simple as that. Neil is not in trouble. Absolutely not. He needs 3 seconds per lap preferably to have a good shot. Because, you know, you can catch up. You still need to get past. So here's Abdullah though. With a chance in turn 1 perhaps. No, he needs a good exit here then. Which is difficult with a damaged front wing. And off Big Shoots goes. You can stay close on the straights, not in the corners. With dirty air and a broken front wing combined, it's a nightmare scenario for Abdullah. Well, he's definitely having a look though, trying to force Big Shoots into a mistake. Hoping Big Shoots will plow himself into the wall. You can see it in the hairpin. The Aston Martin is just so close to the McLaren. Maybe here then. Maybe here then. Awfully close. Less than 0.3. But not enough. This battle is the closest we're having on track. We also see Iago and Mario close together in the minimap. For P11. OMB has been a little bit invisible tonight, I have to say. They are now on the last 2 positions of the remaining cars. Still points though. Still points for OMB. Lap 32. Time is starting to run out. Ave will not catch Neil. If Neil keeps his car in one piece, he will easily win the race. He's about to lap a car, in fact. But I think TF10 can be satisfied with tonight somewhat. With Ave finishing on the podium and at least showing them there is still hope. I feel like if Abdullah still had a whole front wing, it would have been all a whole lot easier. Once again, close together. About 0.3, but that's just simply too far away. And now Danny Coe is approaching. He's on even fresher tires. A 4-way battle for P8. P7, sorry. And now Danny Coe, once again, on the hunt. On the freshest tires. But he sees that Abdullah has been struggling, or has he? This time it is Big Shoot struggling. Making a mistake. That's what Abdullah was waiting for. Is this the moment then when he can try? No. Simply because Big Shoot still had DRS. But this time another poor exit for the Aston Martin. But as long as he parks his car in the middle of the track, he's got a shot! Oh, and there they go! It was to be expected, of course. Abdullah barges through. And now Big Shoots is in trouble again because there's Danny Coe. Trying to go for the move as well. Abdullah wanted to get through and he did. Off he goes. Next car, Redmers. Redmers does not have DRS. Should be a little bit easier perhaps. Danny Coe doing the exact same thing. Yep. And a lot more clean, I have to say. And he's going to keep on hunting down Abdullah Boulaish for P8 now. Big Shoots' tires are done. He's out of the contention for that fight. He'll soon drop. Yeah, there he goes. Out of DRS already. He'll still get the rear wing open. And he's pushing hard, but it will not be good enough. Abdullah now all over the back of Redmers. Is he going to try it at the same location again? Redmers probably saw it in his rear view mirrors. Abdullah barged through pretty much. He's gonna get a shot here. No, a bit too far back. Alex with another 3-second time penalty. That's really not going to help. In the meanwhile, look at this. Mario Amoroso. Is he gonna go for a move? Where is he gonna go though? Outside or inside? And that caused the McLaren to have a poor exit. And there he goes. Good opportunity, but Iago closed the door. And it nearly forced Mario into the wall there. Even though Mario really doesn't have to get past. Iago, I believe, has a 6-second time penalty. And I doubt both of them will be removed. So Mario is quite alright. Sitting behind him. Both are about to be lapped anyway. By the race leader. But Mario is going to try again nonetheless. Which side is he going to go this time? Once again, no opportunity. Perhaps a better exit. But there is Neil. And they will soon have to make way. Yes, Neil can go through them. And there we go. Mario taking this opportunity to let him through. Iago Coira is going to have to let him pass as well. But where? He wants to do it without losing position against Mario. And there we are. Holding back a little bit. Well done. Easily stays ahead. Alex now also getting lapped by the man in second place, who has reduced the gap to the race leader by 7.5 seconds. It is not good enough unless suddenly Neil gets a 6-second penalty slapped to his face, which I do not see happen anytime soon. In the meanwhile, Abdullah still not gotten past. Front wing is the biggest issue. Danny Coe, as you can see, is having a much easier time keeping up. In fact, he nearly had a go against Abdullah. Danny Coe is sharp today, that's for sure. He needs a good exit here. He does get a good exit. But on the straights, he's the man stuck because Abdullah simply has more straight line speed and he shows it against Redmers. Forces him into a mistake. Redmers wobbles. Who's going to make the move first? It's Danny Coe definitely making the move first. And is he going to get past? That's the question. Abdullah's having none of it and he spins himself round. Locked up the rear wheels. And now Danny's front wing is damaged as well. And Big Shoots is back in business. Oof. Whose fault was that? Abdullah definitely defended the inside well. And Danny, as far as I could have seen, spun by himself. And now he's got another 3-second time penalty. Abdullah once again very close. Danny being unhappy. Pushing hard. He's no longer able to keep up though. What's he going to do now? Even if he did get past, wouldn't it really have helped his cause because of his penalties? And now the penalty count has doubled to 6 seconds. So as it stands, Abdullah is not in trouble from Danny Coe. And Big Shoots will still finish P9. Lap 38, the race leader is on right now. He's lapped 3 cars, sorry. Look at how close. Despite the front wing damage, Danny is still able to keep up nicely. Purely because of the tire difference, as you can see right here. Redmers' tires are 17 laps old. Danny's are only 8 laps old. And purely because of that, he's able to stay with Abdullah. Because Abdullah can't get through. The tire difference is 6 laps. But the front wing is the main culprit. No good exits for the Mercedes. Is he getting a good exit here then? We saw already Redmers making a mistake here and there. And this is an opportunity for Abdullah. And he surely is going to try. Redmers knows it. But he does defend quite well there. Through the corners, he still has the upper hand. It nearly was P7 there for Abdullah. But not yet, not yet. Wow, braking as late as he possibly can, bumping into the McLaren. Literally pushing him away. He wants to get past, and he's showing him. The race leader now, though, on the final lap. These guys are still lap 38, don't forget that. And Abdullah will get only a handful of opportunities now. He needs perfect exits everywhere. He needs to use the tire advantage he has. And perhaps a little bit of more battery against the McLaren. This is another opportunity. Look at that, so close. No way through. This is the only DRS you'll get the last time. Rear wheel spinning. Danny Cole letting Big Shoots through. There's no need to fight him there. He knows it. And he properly claims P9 now, the Aston Martin does. Abdullah Balaj, no opportunities here. Is where he got closest last lap. And while we do want to carry on and watch this fight, we'll soon have to switch to our race leader, who is about to finish his race. Will he make a move then in the hairpin? No, and there we are. Neil Guillot wins it in dominant fashion for VNT. They will be back on top in the standings, and TF10 finally claimed their first podium with Ave Gobadi. Well done to him. Strong performance. He's reduced the gap to 4.5 seconds. It wasn't good enough, but it will still be a podium for them nonetheless. And then Simon Engel having fended off Gianluca Nolfo for lap after lap. He's going to claim third place. Gianluca, of course, has a penalty, so Simon has got nothing to worry about. He is going to get the double podium for VNT. A solid performance by the Ferrari team. FRT will get fourth place with Gianluca's penalty. But it was a terrible day for them either way. They will lose the lead after having it only for 1 week. But well done, VNT. Their strong performances continue. And FRT will hope to come back strong next week in Vegas, which is, it's of course another street circuit. A very different kind of street circuit, that is. Confirmation here. Neil is winner. Ave, though, with the fastest lap, having pitted last from the top two. Simon Engel third. Takubian P4. Gianluca Nolfo P5. Geran 97 P6. Strong performance for F1AF here tonight. Redmers P7. Abdullah Balaj P8. Couldn't get past the McLaren there, but did get past the Aston Martin. Potentially, though. A penalty headed Abdullah's way for that move. But we'll have to find out about that. Danico P10. Mario Amoroso P11 then. Jago Koram 12. Alex Osinas P13. And our non-finishers, of course, Adam Schuwer, Min Jake, Adam Ilias, and Joel Lindstrom. And Joel not having it made around the first lap, unfortunately. And that settles it. Let's see if we can get some interviews from our top three. I should probably spell the names correctly. That would help big time. And I'm typing with caps lock. That's going to look really awkward. There we are. In the meanwhile, you can watch my face. And while I try to join the commentary box and link the waiting room. Simon Engel says, yeah, why not? Ah, good. We'll at least hear from one person. So we'll soon see him appear in the waiting room. Oh, you actually only see the top of my face. Let me fix that. The camera has just decided to fall back a little bit. There we are. A lot better, isn't it? Never mind. Right. Third time's a charm. Let me clear my throat. Forehead cam. Yeah, beautiful, isn't it? Let's drag in Simon Engel straight away to give an opinion on tonight's race. Simon, it's safe to say this was an interesting race, wasn't it?
Can you hear me? I hope yes, right.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Interesting is Interesting is a good word. Say that.
Yeah. The race started a bit dramatically for you. What happened exactly?
Yeah, like let's start in the qualifying. I haven't got my P2 because I got hold up because people were just standing in the last corner, not letting me by. On like they were just standing. Then I had dirty air nearly the whole lap, so couldn't do a full push lap. So I got P3, and then the race, yeah, this Gianluca guy just lagged
Yeah, we saw.
a bit much. Couldn't do anything. Probably costed us a 1-2. Like Ave was fast as hell. I know, like faster than me, but to overtake in Monaco is quite impossible. So I don't think he would have got me. So yeah, that was kind like it was damage limitation after because I got damaged 2 times from him because he just lagged away, lagged in again. But yeah, stewards need to look at it and hopefully give him his right penalty for it.
Had you given up on the podium after that incident, or was there still some hope?
Yes, I had completely given up. I thought like we had such a good advantage of FRT because FRT had not the best qualifying, and then it got destroyed like that for a second, and I thought it's everything over again, and would have been classic again that we don't have the luck to win. But I'm not a fan of saying luck in this game, but in this case, it's just not lucky for me. This guy.
I mean, well, this luck has brought you first and third place, and you once again overtaken FRT in the standings. Next week, Las Vegas. How are you guys looking to that race?
I think good. We have a few merchants around there. I think. Not me, but I think we will do great again.
All right, I'm looking forward to those merchants. Thank you for giving us some insights, and congrats on third place.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Right, it's time to hear from our race winner. We've dragged
I
in
turned
the
off my
other VNT
PCs.
driver. Hello.
Hello.
Surprise, here you are. Yeah, we can definitely hear, that's for sure. Congratulations, Neil, on your, well, I have to say, dominant victory. Is that the correct term to use?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I'm really, really unhappy with that race, how that went. I just felt like I was driving like a grandma, especially on the hard stints. It really was not pleasant driving this, so... Oh well. It is
Still
what it
though,
is, and... yeah.
You won by quite a strong fashion, so what made the difference then for you?
I don't know, man. I think there was chaos on the lap, whatever, on the medium stint with my teammate and the TRT driver. I think that definitely helped. That backed up the pack a bit, definitely. So that kind of allowed me to have some breathing space for a bit and just drive fast, I guess.
What was your approach to the tire strategy? Because there was the mandatory 2-stop, so what was it for you guys?
Whatever it was, it didn't work, clearly, as you saw. Yeah, I mean, I've done this over time with that strategy, and it kind of worked, but this time it just hasn't. Yeah, we just thought, all right, we need 2 hards. The mediums are useless anyway. We got rid of them at the start. Maybe pitted a bit too early, I'd argue. Maybe I should have extended that medium stint a bit more. Although the mediums was going, though, so maybe not, but... I don't know. I mean, I just didn't get right. I think I pushed too hard on the tires as well. That just completely ruined my pace. So, it is what it is.
It sounds like you were afraid at some point to lose the lead, or am I wrong there?
I think after Ave pitted for the last time, yeah, I knew it was over. I think there was a problem with my PC before we started. Decided to not restart my game on my PC, but I think that's the wrong decision. And that definitely cost me a bit.
Right. Well, still though, victorious for your team. So well done to you. And Las Vegas next week. Simon said you guys got a few merchants for that track. Are you one of those?
I don't think so. Yeah, no. Well, I mean, we'll see. There's a lot of drivers still, you know, but I mean, we'll start practicing, I guess, and we'll see who's good.
All right. Well, congrats on the win, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And last but not least, the man who finished in second place and finally brought glory to his team in this season. Ave, well done. Second place. Was it something you expected after the chaos in this race?
Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know. I felt I had the pace since the beginning. I mean, it's quite a shame that my quality was really horrible, let's say. Not really, it was just atrocious. But yeah, I knew I had the pace, and the strategy that we chose, I think it would have benefited us anyway, no matter if we couldn't overtake or anything. But yeah, pace was good. The setup was nice. So it would have been quite unrealistic to gain the nail, but I think at the end of the day, it was like 7 seconds the gap when I went P2, and at the end it was like 4. So I'm just happy that at least I gained a second to him.
Yeah, your gap started at 12 seconds or so once you pitted, and you reduced it down to 4 indeed. Do you feel like it would have helped to pit earlier or pit differently?
I don't know. I just my engineer did an amazing job, so I just let everything based on his own knowledge. So I was just doing my own job, which is racing, and I think I did it quite well.
Difficult question, perhaps, but this is the way back up for TF10.
Yeah, it is a difficult question. Depends on the track. I mean, I got pole in Miami, and I like street circuits basically. Miami and Monaco are nice.
Well,
I mean,
we've got
next
Las
race.
Vegas. That's another street circuit.
Yeah, I just gotta practice more, I think, and just pray to not do any more mistakes like I did in Miami in the race and quali here. So
Right.
I'll just stay focused and do my own job.
Sounds like a plan, and hopefully this is the way back up for you as reigning champions. So well done to you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. We'll do our best for sure.
Cheers. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right. Well, speaking of the next race, let's have a look at that particular calendar, and it is indeed Las Vegas next week, to be exact, where we will be heading next, before we'll be going into a little bit of a break, which we probably deserve after this much racing. The standings, as they are, as in the race results, probably are not final. We'll most likely see at least 5 incident reports, if not more. So the stewards are going to have a busy week ahead of them for the PC division at the very least. Tomorrow, you'll find out how bad it will be for the console division. But that's a story for another day, literally. After the break, we'll be headed to Brazil, Imola, Austria, Canada, Britain, and finally to Australia at the start of October. But that's still a long way ahead of us. For now, though, thank you so much for joining me once again for this brilliant race around Monaco. Despite the track, it was still a good one and fun to watch, as I was secretly hoping for. So it has definitely lived up to my expectations for sure. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you same place, same time next week. Until then, goodbye.